Man's Search for Meaning is not only one of the top 10 most influential books chosen by the U.S. Congress, but it has also captivated readers worldwide with its profound impact. Translated into 24 languages and renowned globally, this book by Viktor Frankl, a prominent psychiatrist of the 20th century, offers an inspiring story. During the Nazi era, when he was imprisoned in the grim concentration camps of Nazi Germany, where life was pushed to the extreme of brutality, Frankl not only survived but also developed logotherapy, a beacon of hope in hell. The book is divided into two parts. The first part describes his unimaginable experiences in the concentration camps, while the second part combines these harrowing experiences with academic insights to create a powerful therapeutic method. This method helps individuals find meaning in life, even in the darkest moments. If I could summarize this book in 3 words, they would be choice, suffering, and meaning. Have you ever wondered if the pain you are enduring can become a source of strength? The renowned Russian writer once shared, "I only have one fear, which is not being worthy of the pain I have endured. I have suffered too much, and I must find meaning in what I have gone through." But how can we transform pain into meaning? Perhaps it starts with a single step called choice. The distance each of us must travel on this path may vary. When you weather the storm and the rain has ceased, you will realize that the pain you have encountered in life was actually there to redeem you. If you're struggling with pain and despair in your life, feeling lost in confusion, sorrow, and fear, find strength in this book. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inspire Reads, the channel dedicated to sharing self-development knowledge through great books. I'm Sophia. Don't forget to follow the great books in the description. This week, I'm excited to introduce you to a special topic titled Everything That Causes You Pain is Here to Help You, through the renowned psychological book Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Join us as we dive in. Just a few months later, the Nazis occupied Vienna, and his entire family was arrested and sent to a concentration camp. In the concentration camp, suicide seemed like an easy option, with the electric fence being the quickest way to end one's life. But what is truly remarkable is that surviving under such harsh conditions was the greatest challenge. What made Frankl not only maintain his will to live, but also decide to fight back and save himself? For him, the power of choice was the key factor. Despite facing the worst psychological and physical conditions, he believed that people could retain a level of mental freedom and independent consciousness. This belief allowed him to choose his actions and reactions, and to determine the kind of person he wanted to become. Frankl first bathed naked in the concentration camp and suddenly realized a profound truth: when everything external, from accumulated wealth to social status, can be taken away at any moment, the only thing that cannot be stolen is the freedom to choose how you respond. This was a painful yet valuable lesson about inner freedom, the one thing that no one can take away. Life never goes according to our wishes, but we always have the power to decide how we react to challenges. In the concentration camp, each person faced harsh conditions, but their responses to these challenges were entirely different. Some chose to give up, some chose to live indifferently, and some chose to persevere until the end. Each decision in those painful moments shapes who we become. Imagine a conversation with a renowned French author. Do you truly love life? Yes, I love life. So, have you ever experienced pain? A few times. But pain is an integral part of life. Life is like an expansive ocean with waves rising and falling endlessly, drifting without knowing where they will go. Pain is like sudden tides, crashing in and then receding, one wave after another. No life is filled only with sweetness without bitterness. Similarly, no life is solely bitter without a touch of sweetness. Life is inherently a series of ups and downs, always accompanied by challenges and suffering. It may come from relentless work, staying up late, waking early, and racing against time to sustain life. Pain can also stem from losing loved ones, feeling isolated, or unexpected accidents. Life continuously presents us with challenges and opposing emotions. Even in the toughest times, when everything seems to be against you, remember that every storm will pass and light will return. Just as peach blossoms can bloom brilliantly in the cold winter or trees stand firm in arid lands, you too can overcome any challenge. In every difficulty lies an opportunity for growth and rising above. You always have a choice not to give up or surrender, but to face challenges with perseverance and determination. By doing so, even when standing on the edge of a precipice, you won't sink. Believe that every hardship carries a valuable lesson, and everything you endure is meant to make you stronger. Suffering, despite the pain it brings, is an invisible source of strength in our lives. In 100 years of solitude, each individual's journey is a race through the rugged terrain of failure and sorrow, with every step burdened by suffering. Despite exhaustion and pain, we cannot stop or evade it. Accepting suffering as a part of life not only brings peace to our souls, but also equips us with the strength to face all challenges. Suffering, like a spice, makes life richer as it is ground by ups and downs. As the great poet once said, "Remember all that suffering leaves behind. When suffering passes, it becomes sweet." Despite his intense desire to live, Frankl could not escape the storm of despair when faced with relentless torture. He endured the agony of edema, fever caused by starvation, inadequate clothing, and lack of sleep. His swollen feet and aching knees made each step a challenge. When assigned to care for patients, he contracted typhoid fever and narrowly escaped being sent to the crematorium. These near-death experiences became defining moments, forcing him to reconsider the profound meaning of life. He witnessed every kind of person in the concentration camp, and one clear observation was that those who kept the image of a loved one in their minds never gave up on life. Determined not to be defeated by fatigue or illness, he turned the concentration camp into a psychological training ground. When the prisoners around him fell into paralysis and lost themselves, he used humorous stories to help them overcome their suffering. In moments of despair, he evoked hope with profound statements, uplifting their spirits. Even while battling severe illness and facing the constant threat of death, he continued to take notes and prepare for the publication of his important psychological book later on. Suffering is not only a challenge, but also an opportunity to become stronger. In 100 Years of Solitude, life's journey is depicted as a marathon on the rugged path of failure and sorrow, where our bodies endure pain and loss. Though fatigue and suffering may make us want to stop, the understanding that pain is an inevitable part of life helps our spirits become resilient and ready to face challenges. Suffering, though uncomfortable, always carries a positive aspect. As the great poet said, "Remember all that suffering leaves behind." When suffering passes, it becomes sweet. Life is like a spice. The more it endures ups and downs, the richer and more flavorful it becomes. With a fierce will to live, Frankl was once engulfed in a vortex of despair under relentless torture. Imagine the scene: he and his fellow prisoners enduring pain from severe edema, illness caused by starvation, inadequate clothing, and lack of sleep, swollen feet, immobile knees, with each step becoming a torment. When assigned to care for patients, misfortune continued as he contracted typhoid fever and narrowly escaped being sent to the crematorium. These moments on the brink of death compelled him to deeply reflect on the true meaning of life. He witnessed countless lives in the concentration camp and realized an important truth: the presence of a loved one in one's mind could sustain survival. Determined not to be defeated by fatigue or illness, he transformed the harsh environment into a psychological exercise. While others fell into paralysis and lost themselves, he used humorous stories to help them endure suffering. When despair spread and hope seemed extinguished, he ignited faith with profound encouragement. Despite facing death at any moment and enduring a severe illness, he persistently wrote notes, preparing for a future book filled with invaluable lessons. 3 years of imprisonment turned pain into great strength in his heart, allowing him to explore the essence of human nature deeply and develop a unique psychological therapy. Physical suffering became an inexhaustible spiritual drive. As Frankl said, Only after suffering as from hell can one develop the strength to create heaven. After the extreme cold, the red rose blooms in the wind. After the pain of a broken wing, the eagle soars high in the sky. Facing failure and crisis, we often fail to realize that these bitter challenges are the very path to great ascent. The pain and difficulties you experience are not enemies but powerful nutrients for your rebirth and growth. No pain is beyond healing, and no collapse is without an end. Every loss will return in its own way, bringing new opportunities. While people often seek peace and avoid hardships, understanding that it is through the harshest trials we have the chance to reach spiritual fulfillment will make you realize that suffering is not a disaster, but a part of the self-development journey. Frankl asserts that suffering, misfortune, and death are not only inseparable parts of life but also crucial challenges that help us find the true meaning of our existence. Life is never complete without these challenges. In suffering, people have the opportunity to elevate their spirits, appreciate the value of resilience, and take pride in overcoming adversity. Dostoevsky once said, "I only have one fear, that I am not worthy of the suffering I have endured." To be worthy of challenges, we must seek the deeper meaning in our lives. Frankl demonstrated that a person with a strong reason to live can endure any suffering. In the concentration camp, he observed that many people did not perish due to material deprivation, but due to a lack of reason to continue living. Statistics show that the highest death rates occurred during Christmas, a time when prisoners often hoped to return home. However, when hope faded, their spirits collapsed as well. This mental collapse reduced physical resistance and led to death. In modern life, many people face depression and psychological disorders because they have not discovered the true meaning of life. In a society where feelings of existence and invisibility often intertwine, the quest for life's meaning has become a more crucial lifeline than hope or joy. Viktor Frankl has shown that what drives people to live and overcome difficulties is the search for meaning, not the avoidance of suffering or the pursuit of temporary happiness. In his book, Frankl presents 3 ways to help you discover the meaning of life. First is seeking achievement through emotionally fulfilling work or a specific career. Second is experiencing love and genuine care for a special person. Third is developing an attitude of courage to face life's difficulties and challenges. Nothing can help you survive and grow stronger more than realizing that your life has meaning. Life encompasses a broad cycle from birth to death, and opening yourself to experience all ranges of emotions, whether suffering or happiness, is the way to find true meaning. The suffering you can endure is the measure of your success. After being liberated from the concentration camp in 1945, Frankl faced profound loneliness. His parents, younger brother, and the wife he loved, who was pregnant at the time, had all died in the camp due to disease and starvation. His surviving fellow inmates had emigrated to other countries, leaving him without family or friends. Determined not to succumb to his fate, he returned to his old profession as a psychiatrist to help those suffering from psychological trauma after the war. Frankl immersed himself in his work, combining personal experience with academic insight to create low-go therapy. He helped many people, from parents contemplating suicide after losing their children to husbands unable to overcome the death of their wives, and thousands of strangers living in confusion. Despite having his manuscript confiscated when he was sent to the camp, he spent 9 days completing it, searching for meaning. Over the following decades, he wrote more than 30 books and lectured worldwide. His experience of escaping death ignited an endless passion for life, and he was always ready to embrace new experiences. At the age of 67, he not only began learning to fly, but also earned his pilot's license. Just a few months later, at the age of 80, he conquered the highest mountain range in Europe, demonstrating that no challenge is too great. Even in his 90s, he remained dedicated to conversing with people from around the world, answering letters each week to offer his support. His dedication and experience won many hearts, leading prestigious universities like Harvard and Stanford to invite him as a professor. Politicians, philosophers, and even the Pope sought him out, reading his books and sending their regards from afar. You will achieve great accomplishments corresponding to your ability to endure and overcome pain. Frankl's life is not just a story of recovery from suffering, but a symbol of light and resilience. Although the war took everything he cherished, he chose to rise from the ashes of his suffering and became a radiant source of inspiration. As a famous saying goes, suffering is a stepping stone to genius, fortune for the capable, and a chasm for the weak. Suffering is not merely a challenge, but a necessary lesson in life. From navigating difficult choices to overcoming pain, Frankl gained profound insights into the meaning of life, leaving an enduring source of inspiration for millions around the world. The meaning-centered therapy he developed not only continues to assist many, but will also have a lasting impact. Unlike psychoanalysis, Frankl's meaning therapy does not solely focus on addressing the inner self and past, but also strongly directs attention toward the future. Exploring life's purpose is fundamentally about pursuing meaning, which Viktor Frankl asserts is the core motivation for existence. While Adler emphasized striving for superiority and overcoming inferiority complexes, Frankl offered a deeper perspective. The meaning of life is the driving force that propels us forward. The author of Man's Search for Meaning describes human life as a tumultuous river, lacking stable shores or hidden rocks, yet it is these very challenges that highlight the beauty and significance of life. Facing adversity and self-improvement are the only ways to overcome deep abysses and conquer seemingly unreachable heights. When an individual discovers meaning, they not only achieve happiness but also develop the ability to overcome all life's difficulties. Frankl's book Man's Search for Meaning is not merely a work, but a powerful source of inspiration that helps you transcend suffering and discover inner strength. By reading it, you will learn how to turn difficulties into opportunities, transform suffering into motivation, and live each day as if it were the first. When confronting challenges, remember that life can become more wonderful than ever when you dare to conquer yourself and pursue profound meaning. That's all for this week's video. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please share it with those who might need it. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Don't forget to support us by hitting the like button, subscribing, and turning on notifications so you don't miss our latest videos each week. Thank you, and see you in the next video.